Yeah.
Yep.
We back. Hey. What's up? This is definitely 2 weeks since we did our last podcast.
Yeah, it's just taking me a while to edit it.
Yeah, there's a lot of downtime between, it just is what it is.
Showbiz, you wouldn't understand.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, well, welcome to How to Roundnet podcast, what we call Eavesdrop. We have conversations, you listen, and that's what we do. My name's Preston Byes, by the way. I've been playing Roundnet for a while.
My name's Ryder, and I'm newer to the scene.
Bang.
But I feel like I've still been playing a while.
But he's better than me. All right, cool. Well, for everyone who knows what's good. Oh, sorry, my pitcher got in my way. My bad.
I'm not going to do this again. I'm not doing this again.
Before we get into it, what's up? I haven't seen you in like 2.5 weeks. What's new? What's good?
Well, funny you should ask. I've actually been pretty busy. I'll show you. Look what I made today.
What is that? Freaking TIE Fighter?
Kind of nice. Yeah, TIE Fighter. Kind of nice, right?
Kind of nice. That's
Ready?
what you've been. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yep. So that's kind of what I've been up to. Just
2.5 weeks?
Just Legos. I'm kind of going out of career in Legos.
Right. You're transitioning from Roundnet to Legos.
Yeah, because Roundnet was my career before.
Right, because you make so much money.
No, I've been traveling, actually. I was gone for like 2.5 weeks filming select things. Pickleball, golf, basically those two things. But
with Good. If you don't know, Ryder edits for Garrett Clark, GM Golf / Good.
Yeah, well, not Good, but Garrett.
Oh, he edits for Garrett.
Channel and filming, so that was cool. Then went to a pickleball tournament and filmed. Was in Denver for a couple of days.
Did
in
Ben
Oregon,
Triple Crown?
Ben did Triple Crown.
Let's go. He's back at it. Yeah.
So back now, but was gone for like 2 weeks. Hence why there had been no podcast.
Yeah, that's the real reason. We just haven't been together. But yeah, sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Not a bad life for a 21-year-old. Studley Dudley, best player in the world in Roundnet.
I'll take it.
Not the worst profile.
What have you been up to?
Oh, what I've been up to.
You were here. We're terrible at planning our trips. Preston's gone when I'm here, and I'm gone when Preston's here.
Yeah.
Because now Preston leaves on Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually Wednesday today. What have I been up to? I've just been coaching volleyball and hanging out in town, relaxing because I was traveling for a few weeks in a row there for a bit. But I actually leave tomorrow to go to Nicaragua. As you know, I'm going to run some Roundnet clinics, which will be sick. I literally got a call like 5 days ago, and they were like, hey, we want you. And I said, cool, I'm down. So I don't really know what that's going to be like. Nicaragua looks cool. But aside from that, May's sister's graduating. I'll be in Arizona. I'll be all over. San Fran. We're playing in San Fran.
Yep.
That'll be our first term together as HTR. Then I go to like Portugal for pickleball stuff, and then I go to Cabo. I don't know, doing all kinds of fun things, staying busy. But yeah, moving on to actual Roundnet podcast, what you're here for. We got our little listy boy here. Let us see. Richmond recap.
Richmond was the last. Actually, I'll get this out before Dallas. So
yeah,
Dallas is next. Richmond just happened last weekend. And I heard it was, I saw a little bit. I was kind of busy, but I watched a little bit. But I heard more that it was like the best Roundnet tournament ever.
Like Roundnet's back.
Roundnet's back, and which is great. I love to hear it.
Yeah.
I'm not fully 100% convinced yet until I get to play and see it for myself.
Yeah.
But it looked like a fun time. And
it was interesting to see how it stacked up because what was top three? Ravi, Ryan Gross, Max Gabe.
And Coleman and Airbuds.
Oh, that's true.
Coleman and Will got third.
Coleman and Will got third, yeah. After we just crapped on them, too, in the last podcast.
Did you crap?
I just said that they were going to underperform.
Yeah.
Which, honestly,
I'd say a podium is overperforming.
And Garrett and Joe were there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, to podium over that team, I'd say pretty self-handling. But Ravi and Ryan, we'll talk about them, too.
Double clutch lost.
Yeah, Double clutch lost, which is huge,
something.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think I would say that what it finished as Roundnet looks better because it looks more even. There's some surprise finishes. Obviously, Ravi and Ryan, I would not say we're on the radar to win that tournament by any shot.
I would say Ryan was. Ravi was not on my radar.
That's what I'm saying. Ravi and Ryan. Yeah.
But apparently Ravi played well too. So
I watched the highlights. He looked super good. Yeah. All right, we'll talk about it real quick. First off, double clutch losing. Surprise, not surprise.
I'm not not surprised, but also I think it's one of the best things that could have happened to them. I feel like that's not a bad take. coming off like winning and having such high expectations, I feel like losing is like, okay, it like sets them back. Now they're going to be a little more motivated.
They lost to who?
They lost to...
Wasn't it Glitcher or something? Or no,
they lost to them in pool play, but I think they lost to Robbie and Ryan. We should probably look this up.
What's their team name? No, they lost to another Texas team, or Akron or something. I don't know.
That was in pool play.
Oh,
but in
that's Glitch.
The bracket, they lost to Max and Gabe.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Hey, if we're wrong, you can talk crap on us. Comment.
Yeah, we should know that.
Checker zebras. If we're wrong, and if there's no checkered zebras, then we are golden.
Nice.
Any Hoosiers? Yeah. I think it's a good thing for them. I think it's kind of like a smack back into reality because after winning nationals, it's a pretty big like, oh my gosh, we're the best team in the world.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily surprised because I wouldn't say. I don't know. Again, we've talked about them. Their height is second to their serving as their best attribute.
Yeah.
I think people are adapting. I think serve height is coming down a lot based off the highlights I did watch. It looks like everyone's serves are slowly becoming more.
I think that's really.
I think when they're on.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people like last year when it landed on the net, there was still a lot of high calls being called. Whereas I saw at least most serves were coming off low. I mean, still people missing phenomenal amounts of serves.
Yeah.
But I think they're the ones that are on are better and lower and legal. I didn't watch a double clutch game, so I can't really speak to that.
Yeah,
but any Hoosiers. The other thing we all want to talk about, then we can move on, is I think Ryan Gross has, at this point, put himself in the top 10 pretty much undoubtedly. I know last year there was a lot of talk about Ryan early on.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of popped off. But watching him play, he looked like the most solid player in the realm.
He's very well-rounded. He doesn't excel at one thing, but he's very solid at everything.
Yeah, he just didn't make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I know watching, Gabe made probably the second fewest, and then it was a toss-up between Ravi and Max. However, Ravi did have a high number of aces, so that's kind of thing. But I don't know. I'm not convinced either about Roundnet being saved or back to it. It just, I don't know. I still think setting and hitting could improve times a million, as well as serving. And that goes for you and I. I mean, I don't think anyone's close to the ceiling that we have within Roundnet right now.
Mm-hmm.
So every rally I saw, obviously watching in hindsight, just for everyone listening or watching. And also if you are listening and you want to watch this on YouTube, by the way. But I think a lot of things could be bettered. I will say Gabe's setting looked phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Max definitely missed a few hits, few sets here and there. Nothing crazy. And then Ravi's an animal. He just goes for everything. And with that, he misses a few things every once in a while. But all in all, I was impressed with the game. It looked not worse.
I feel like all those players also, you could argue, are defensive players besides maybe Gabe, but Gabe's known to do some athletic.
Yeah, Gabe's an athlete.
Yeah. Also, Richmond, we had women's. We have to talk about that.
Women's, Twins.
Yeah.
They dropped a game.
They dropped 2 games.
2 games. Sorry, whatever. They dropped 2 games.
Well, not in the same game, but they dropped in quarters. They dropped in semis.
Yeah, which
it's big news.
Big news. I know there's a lot of talk of are they going to be number 1, and I said undoubtedly. We made a bet. I feel like.
Yeah.
I took Twins and you took everyone else.
Yeah.
Frick.
Oh, I was close.
Yeah. No, but I said they would lose. I said Nationals.
Oh, just
that was our bet.
Oh, okay. But hey, this is looking good for me, I guess. But
who they dropped to in?
They dropped to. I don't know who they dropped to in quarters, but in semis, or maybe it was quarters. I think it was semis. It had to have been semis. Maybe. They dropped to Kara and Sarah.
Which there's a lot of talk around Kara
being a
top 3.
Yeah. So
I think that's accurate in a way.
Yeah.
I also obviously I'm a big fan of Katie Pearson.
Allie Rogers hit a reverse cut.
Yay. Which we were talking about off podcast, but in terms of when a girl's going to start hitting reverses.
I said, hey, send me your reverse cuts. I'll critique it. And guess who did?
Hey, so now you can start taking credit.
Allie Rogers.
So now you can start taking credit for people doing shit.
And thing, so yeah.
It is fun to see people, regardless of how much impact you had.
Yeah.
You have to say it's kind of fun when you help somebody and they do something.
Yeah.
Even if they never give you credit.
Yeah. No, I don't need credit. I'm just saying.
No.
I'm not taking credit.
No, I'm just saying. Even if they don't give you credit, even if you never say you take credit, it's a fun feeling to see people flourish and know that at least they reached out to you and you may have given them a high five of help.
Yeah. I text her after. I was like, how'd the reverse feel? She's like, I got Allie on it once.
Does she have big hands? She must have big hands. She's a pretty tall human.
I don't know.
I'm just always curious because like Jordy came over.
Yeah, Jordy was over here.
Jordy hit a reverse cut.
Yeah.
Given it wasn't like huge.
But
her hands are like the smallest.
Well, it was after like 6 minutes. She hit a couple and I was like, okay, do this. And it was good.
So. No, I mean, I think women's Roundnet is in a good dish place. I'm curious to see where they get serving. Yeah. I do think hitting defenses will still remain a thing because also with the no hit zone, which is I still think is interesting that they kept the full 1.5 foot zone for women's.
You don't think? Yeah.
I mean, it's like I think about volleyball. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, would you have women play on like an 8 foot net in volleyball?
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
So for me, I know I pushed for like a little less, like 1.25 or something. Yeah. Just because I think it would help a little bit, but I'm also happy they have 1.5 because I think that's like men having a 1.75. Yeah. And maybe that's a thing that we look into. Who knows? Yeah. But no, women's I think is in a good spot. Just like men's in Richmond, there was a lot of kind of random things happening, like double clutch losing or whatever. Yeah. Twins dropping game is huge news.
Parity, baby.
Yeah, I think it's good because it shows that they have some weak spots. Yeah. Some. But again, they're not going to lose nationals. That's our Richmond recap. Again, we could have watched more, but at the same time, I did watch highlights.
Nice. Look at Me too. I didn't watch the whole game either.
No. I can't watch the whole game. It's still slow. And I think that's my only point about Roundnet not being saved is that it's still not fun to watch.
I'll say this. The stream looked good. It was like laggy and just not good quality. Like I feel like I would take I uploaded a video on HTR Plus from ATX finals where I put a mic under the net and filmed, and I would take that over the stream. I feel like most of the time, which
just due to connection,
I think mostly just due to quality.
Yeah,
because I don't know, I just like good quality. I will say the commentator at Richmond.
Yeah, whoever that was.
I don't know who that was, but he did great. He made it seem like
a commentator.
It seemed like a commentator, and by that meaning like he reacted to the crazy things that were happening. Maybe that's why people thought it was crazy because they heard the commentator just be like, "Oh my gosh!" Like,
yeah, but also he filled all the dead space.
Yeah, no, he was great. Yeah. I don't know who he was, but I want him back because he
not Dantowitz, the other guy.
Yeah, Dantowitz is fine. I think both of them together was great, but
he's fine. Yeah,
he definitely stuck out, and he's got to have some sort of background in commentating or announcing.
He could be one of Gasway's new guys. Yeah, because Gasway was looking for people a while ago.
But yeah, I remember like same thing in pickleball, like because making pickleball videos, like I'm always looking for when something cool happens, the announcer to be like, you know, that like that bang, that mic bring bang, like
the bang,
like you know if he just went like, oh Curry made another 3, like it wouldn't be as cool. Like announcers make things a lot, you know, they kind of make the broadcast. Like, have you ever been to an NBA game?
Yeah,
it's just so boring. Because there's no announcer.
Yeah, because there's no slow replay, there's no anything, and there's no announcer being like, "Oh my God, from the arc, you know, he's this percentage," or
you know, and like
or you boss rise, you know, whatever.
Which I'm sure like a playoff game where there's more of a crowd. Like I haven't been in any of those, but like the commentators kind of make it entertaining. Yeah. So
no, I mean, I
feel like that definitely played into some of what made it so entertaining, and that there was great Roundnet being played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you said last podcast. Max Modell is overrated.
I got a little bit of flack for that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Was that 2 podcasts ago, maybe?
Maybe 2 or 1.
I don't know, yeah. Anyway, yeah. I would say so I'm going to segment into this. We're going to talk about honesty in Roundnet, and that's kind of my big thing I want to talk about today. Me saying Max is overrated is not intentionally to bring him down at all. I just think for the past 6 years I've been playing and Max has been around, there's been a lot of talk about Max being, you know, a top 5 player, top 10 player, but he's never really produced big results. And at this point you could put that on Cole or not because he just got second with Gabe, or maybe Max is, you know, better than I give him credit, whatever it is. I think Max is right where he belongs. I think getting second with Gabe is a good finish. You know, I think that's kind of where I put them in the 2-3 spot because Max is good. I mean, Max is just outside top 10, I'd say. You know, this year's a toss-up already because we have weird people winning, you know, certain tournaments that not necessarily have won a ton before or whatever. But I think it's a toss-up year. I think Max could end top 10. He could end top 20. But I think Max is right where he should be. I just think the conversation of him being top 10 last year after not doing a whole lot, it's like putting me in the top 10. I think you had an argument against me outside the top 10. You know, you also had one in for being top 10. But anyway, I think he's good.
Cool.
You know, he definitely made some mistakes, but I think that's any Roundnet player. So
this isn't on a thing, but predictions for Dallas. I think basically everyone's going double clutch.
I would, dude, it's tough.
Clark and Buddy are playing. That's their first tournament.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're trying to go back to back.
Yeah.
Any
predictions?
I would love to see Joe and Garrett do a little better. I was surprised to see them
they'll figure it
not
out.
do amazing.
I had a conversation with Joe after I called him after and was like, "Yo, what happened? Not what happened, but like, yo, how'd you guys lose?" Because I thought they would have won, and he was talking about the carry role being a lot, like a huge impact. Yeah. And he was like, I had people beat, and they would just carry the heck out of it. Yeah. So that also adds a whole new, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's I like that rule, you know, since I didn't necessarily love it on second touch, but at the same time, whatever.
Yeah.
But for service save, I think it's phenomenal because if you can get to a ball now, I feel like there was, I don't know, half of, probably 39% of balls that were touched on service save last year that were good ups visibly were carries. Yeah. And now I think a lot of those are being converted into at least playable balls. So
I'd like to see how many like defensive like points that happened or rallies happened after a carry. Because I'm sure that played into more points being played out, more, you know.
Yeah, maybe it's Jack Scotty's domain and he'll come out and be like, carry rule's great, or who knows.
Yeah.
Or maybe
it's also like season now. Maybe people have been practicing more and are better with their serves. There were more serves. I don't know. I didn't see stats or anything or watch a ton, but that could.
I mean, we messed around with it in the backyard. You know, it definitely helps. You know, obviously no touch aces. You're not going to carry those, but
I also played an ATX with that rule, and I didn't see any noticeable difference. Yeah. But I'm sure that was also early on, and I feel like people weren't even like thinking about it. At least I wasn't thinking like, oh, I can carry this. It kind of just, if it happened, it happened. So.
I do think Joe's a different server than you though, and like I think he serves a little slower, a lot of angle, so you can usually read it and get to it.
Yeah.
But obviously, I mean, there's the occasional serve where he just wrecks you by 10 feet. But I'd say it's not as much pace, so I think people are catching up to the ball a little behind it maybe and just chucking a little bit. But also, again, I didn't watch too much footage to say, oh, this happened 17 times.
I wish we had. Why don't we have footage?
What do you mean, why do we have footage?
There's no footage of quarters or even like the other semis. I don't like, there should, I don't know.
I mean, I think that should fall on Gasaway personally if he's at a tournament to make sure people film.
Or even like, put a phone.
Put a phone. I mean, Spikeball could literally buy a bunch of iPhone freaking 6s for like $100 each. And
not even that. You could take like a couple $100 camcorder and put it up what Drew Chiswick did.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think
because I would love to be able to, after like, when we talk about growth of the sport and what it takes, like if after a tournament, even 2 days after, there was nothing on, you know, Spikeball Tour Series Instagram about who won it. Like they posted a podium picture like 3 days later. I'm like, there's got to be something that.
Well, it's like when you went to the tournament. It was last year. I don't know, but there was like, you know, like you always talk about Olivia doing little highlights throughout the day and stuff like that.
It's so easy to do, and it's like, and it goes a long way.
To be fair, I know Gasaway's worried about streaming certain games, but I also know that Dantowitz are there. You know, Mike White's usually there.
Nora's there.
You know, I feel like walking around with a phone and just, you know, taking a picture of Frederick's butt and putting like, oh, you know, they got won, beat, whatever, or that, you know, just like whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, easier said than done. It takes time. We don't ever want to crap on people, but I think the honest take is that it wouldn't take that much time.
I feel like there's time that
Drew Chiswick did it for years with 2 camcorders and would just chuck them on different games. Yeah. And I think quarters and on is reasonable.
Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just invest in a couple phones and just put them everywhere and then put them on HTR Plus.
Yeah, I don't know. You see my comment on Gasaway's thing of like, why don't you just post on HTR Plus?
Yeah. It gets way more views.
Well, for me, it's like I think we've made an HTR Plus for all of you listening. I think we've made like over $1 now.
At least.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah. That's like 10 quench gums.
Yeah. But no, I mean, for me, I was just trying to simplify it and like say, hey, look, like everything's here since 2014. You know, Drew just has been legendary stuff. Any Hoosers, moving forward, I think Texas is kind of a toss-up at this rate just because double clutch, I see them bouncing back, but also now that they lost, who knows?
Yeah.
But I know Frederick and Rahul, they're not going to go down without a fight. So
no, I also, yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of people. All right, moving forward. I touched on it earlier, but honesty and Roundnet. The reason why I want to talk about this in particular is because I think as with pushing on the sport forward and as with growing the sport, I think competition is a good thing. And I think being open and honest presents ideas and things that people could, talk about and grow on and find a solution to, whether that means honesty with your friends or players or whatever, or telling Ryder that, he sucks at XYZ set, or, saying Max is overrated or whatever it is. I mean, it causes some sort of reaction in the community and people start talking and people start growing. And for me, I think being honest, especially from players to like company, I don't need to talk too much about that, but people text me every day. I get 1-2 DMs, texts, some sort of something is like, hey, are you doing something about the big ball? Are you, how do you feel about this? Or I don't like how something like this happened. And for me, it's like
you're the only one that can do things.
No, but it's I'm the only one who is willing to be honest, very honest, brutally honest. Not the only one. There are many people out there. I mean, even Ian Timon, he puts out his hot takes every so often. But for me, in order for the sport to grow, I feel like people need to really push each other and the company. And not with like malicious intent. Like I'm never like, hey, Ryder, the reverse cut sucks. You should stop that. You're an idiot. I was just like, I don't think it's that great right now. And then, now Ryder's the freaking legendary reverse cutter from everywhere in the world. True story.
Preston wasn't a believer.
I wasn't a believer. But my thing is, it's like, I just feel like people need to be honest around it. And if you think Joe Bondi's serves are slow, then you can say they're slow, and then Joe gets upset, and then he goes grinds, and then he becomes the greatest server the world has ever known because he's giant and he hits stupid, crazy angles already. Whatever it is. Yeah. I don't think honesty is a bad thing as long as you're not going in to hurt somebody else. But with that, I wanted to kind of talk on why we are not traveling currently and kind of just go over that if you want to start that tunnel. Because people ask us all the time, like, when are you traveling? Why don't you travel more? What's what?
Well, we both don't work 9-to-5 jobs Monday through Friday. And I think if we did, I think I would be at more tournaments possibly.
Yeah.
But as of now, both of our jobs require us to, like, a lot of the time work on the weekends. I have, like, some weddings on the weekends. We're just gone the last 2 weeks. There's just work on the weekends that frankly is more important than going to a spike ball tournament and losing $100 even if you win.
Yeah, even if you win.
Even if you win.
Yeah.
So which sucks, and I wish it was different, but it's just hard to justify. Even San Francisco, I'm passing up on a wedding or there's a big pickleball tournament I could be filming at that. It's like
I was trying to go to Australia during that time too, and then I was like, I can't.
Yeah,
and that was for work, around that stuff. But I don't know. I also, for us, I feel like regardless if you have 9-to-5 or not, like I do get people's arguments of 9-to-5. Hey, like that's my outlet on the weekend.
Yeah,
but money-wise, we've talked about it a million times, but for those of you who don't know from a Roundnet perspective, I was going to put a big old post out. I still might on Facebook one day of just kind of like what it costs to be a Roundnet professional in today's day and age, especially with flights going up, every single second it looks like. But I mean, incentives-wise, like when we win a tournament or when anyone wins a tournament, we haven't won a tournament yet, but when anyone wins a tournament, like you make $500 each max right now, I believe. So you include flights, you include housing, you include food. Like Ryder said, you lose $100. You lose $100.
Breaking even is great.
Yeah, breaking even is great. And for a lot of people, they say, well, that it's not a sport yet. Like blah blah blah. There's not anything out there, but it's just I'm not saying what Spikeball should do or what anyone else should do. I'm just trying to put it out there and be honest because I think it's a very large problem that's been a problem since I started playing, and I do think there are solutions out there. But I would love if a conversation were open to everybody.
In order to have a sport, you need to have money.
Yeah.
That's the only way people are going to take the sport to the next level. That's the only way they're going to be more committed to the sport. Like,
I mean, that's my whole goal of me playing still is to hopefully one day have a sport where people can get paid or get sponsorships or whatever. And that's another thing too, is I know some people think that because you are on elite that everything is paid for. Just to be completely honest again, we get $500 towards travel. This year, actually, they just gave it us in a card and said, "Here you go," which is honestly kind of cool.
I think I lost that card.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where mine is right now. But anyway, regardless, they give us $500 and they give us some clothing, which is super cool. And I know 7 years ago, we got a little bit less. But for me, like, I just wanted to be honest with people, because it was a conversation that needs to happen, is that the top players are not getting flights paid for, even if they have sponsorships come in and help them. My biggest sponsorship in 7 years of playing Roundnet was $2,000. And that was like, oh my gosh, I got $2,000. Like, that's huge. Most companies, they'll give you like free underwear, a pair of thieves, which they did give Buddy and Clark $500 at California, which was a big deal. But it's a real problem. It has been a problem. And I think there are solutions, whether the company buys us out and pays us, freaking, I don't know, puts another $2,000 per tournament, that's whatever. I don't think it's the company's necessarily
or like a bonus to show up at a tournament. Like,
or it's like if with the elite package.
Which I'm saying because the PPA for pickleball, they pay
we do get
their
free
players.
registration for tournaments as elite.
Okay. Like the PPA in pickleball, they pay their players to go to these tournaments, to solely go to their tournaments.
Yeah.
Like,
they sign a contract.
And obviously, pickleball is way bigger, the viewership, and I don't know. We can go down a rabbit hole and talk about this for hours, but we don't need to. I also think after you said like 7 years ago, you kind of got the same thing, and it was a little bit less travel.
I remember when in San Diego 6.5 years ago, and we got $250 each.
Okay.
So
that was your like elite, basically?
No, that was winning the tour stop. I got $250 each.
So in 7 years, it's doubled.
And if you factor in inflation and everything, it's probably gone up by like $800 ish.
Which I think is a bummer, because the company in the last 7 years has gone up tenfold.
Right. And and again, the company's reply is always, it's not like we're swimming in money over here. I'm like, no, but spikeball people have been increasingly losing money over the years.
We don't need much either.
No, and like I've always like pitched it to the company privately of like, hey, if you guys put, whatever, $2 extra grand per tour stop strictly for prize money, which is what, 16 times 2, $32,000.
Yeah.
Like, if that means that you win a tour stop and you're making $750, okay, now I'm making $200 potentially a weekend, maybe $250. Which for me, I'm like, hell yeah! Like, I could actually go to 10 tour stops, make $2,500, and playing something that I love, and they've done a lot for everyone in the community, and it's phenomenal. But there is improper scaling from company growth to sport growth, and I think it's been a problem forever. And people always talk about it, and I don't know what the solution is. I don't know if we freaking just have a riot and say we need $7 more, or whatever it is. But it's a thing. Anyway,
all right. Next podcast, we're not talking about money or spikeball or anything.
We're not talking about spikeball at all. We're going to talk about fans. No, but the last thing I do want to talk about is top player wise. I know we've talked about this a lot, you and I, and this will be the last thing about being super duper honest and everything, that we can get a tip of the day and questions and fun things. But I will say, and again, this is for most of our listeners out there, is just once you get to the top.
Well, that was cool, because I got they sent me $100,000 check for being number one. So in that case, it made it worth it. But if you're not, no, I'm kidding. No, the only thing that happens for being number one is your uncles and your people. They're like, "Oh, you're number one in this school," and then they go, "So are you like making money?" And you go,
"Well, no, I actually lost money, but still." And again, I don't want this to come off from myself and or Ryder and or anyone. Is it still on, by the way, the camera?
Nope.
Oh, perfect. It's okay. No, we're doing a podcast. It's okay. We don't need the camera on. We're still here.
Tell them that the battery died.
Oh, battery died on the camera, but it's all good. Any Hoosers. Moving forward, I don't want this to come off as like negative and you're saying we're not appreciative of our status within the Roundnet community, because obviously we've spent a lot of time and effort and money, and we love playing for the most part. Ryder looks at me and laughs. You're not watching right now. But no, I do think it's a bummer when you grind, in Ryder's case, for a year, year-ish, and that's a very, very quick year for most people from zero.
Don't use me as an example.
No, but I'm saying, but even for you, for 0 to hero in a year, let's just say it only took a year. I think a year of your life should be appreciated in some avenue, whether it's like, spike ball shouts you out or something. For me, there's really not too much at the top. I don't regret ever getting to the top.
Also, you're making it sound like I'd spend every day for a whole year trying to get
No, but you spent a good amount of time. But some people spend 6-7 years.
Yeah.
To get to wherever, or people spend forever to get premier. And like, I don't think you'd ever take back the road to the top.
No.
I think that's
and apart from money, what spike ball brings is community and friends, and like, which to me is so much more valuable than any thousands of dollars you could win at a tournament or whatever.
Yeah.
But
it's just more, the only reason I would ask Ryder that question is just to kind of get people's minds thinking of what possibilities there are out there to incentivize people to grind. Because I really do think if the sport had money, or if it had some sort of notoriety built in, where spike ball's shouting you out once a month, this is our top player, maybe you get another 5,000 followers on Instagram.
Player of the week or something.
Whatever it is, I think incentivizing players to train would, again, further our sport to grow. Right now, it's pretty much just, there is no crazy incentive. It's just personal incentive of like, I want to beat Ryder.
No.
But again, I mean, I would never personally take back my first 3-ish years of Roundnet. Even though I won nationals, whatever, year and a half in or something. Like, there was still a lot to prove because I wasn't the best, But I don't know, just honest type stuff. Anyway, moving forward, because we've talked a whole lot about honest things.
Also, I should have a bigger one than these. I got second at nationals, and I didn't get anything.
Oh, we're going back to being honest. Ryder what'd you get?
I got a medal from second at national. If we want to be honest, I was pretty bummed about that.
Ryder got a little.
I was like, I get like a bigger picture.
Medal, yeah.
Or I get a bigger picture.
No.
And then they gave me this medal, which you get the same thing for getting like third place in intermediate.
Get wrecked.
So I hope we have bigger.
Yeah. If you are listening, by the way, we do love everything and anything spike ball has given us in terms of community, and we are here because we love it, and we got our friendship through it. Like, I
like spike ball. I'm going to put that at the beginning of the podcast as like a disclaimer.
Yeah, I love it. No, because I don't want to be a downer, because like, obviously our YouTube channel is How to Roundnet. Like, we want, like, I'm going to Nicaragua to go teach Roundnet. Like, I love Roundnet. It's just the sports side of things is a little tough, and it has been for a long time. So that's why I'm happy to put those thoughts out there. Because if you're playing and you're enjoying it, by all means, you should always enjoy it. I say if you're not having fun, you shouldn't be playing. But moving forward, what's your favorite song?
Family Business right now is my current favorite song. By Kanye. Coleman and Will used it in a video, which I'm so much more inclined to like a song if I hear it in a video or someone plays it and recommends it, or like if it just comes on randomly, I feel like I'd be so much less like,
it's tough to like listen to it. I feel like, because you're not like, I know the song. You're just like, eh.
Yeah. But if you hear it in something, you're like, oh, it's So that one's my favorite right now. What's your favorite song right now?
There's a song called Rewind, and at the beginning,
Shawty's like a melody.
No.
Oh, that's Replay.
That's
Never
Replay.
mind.
No, there's a song, and at the beginning of the song, she goes, "Check, please." And for something about it, just the tone of how she says it, just like locks me into the song.
Dude,
and then I'm like,
for a song to be good, it just needs like one funny, cool little like.
For a while, what was that 2 Chainz song I listened to?
A bandana around my neck. Like bank road rent.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just the 3 seconds.
Just the 3 seconds. I was like, boom! I love this song.
Comment your favorite song, and after the first, if we get enough comments after the first like couple days, I'll make a playlist of all the songs.
Oh yeah.
I'll put it in the comments, or like we'll rank our best next podcast or something.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah. Cool. If there's enough comments down there, heck yeah. All right, moving past songs.
Let's give some tips.
Oh yeah, tip of the day. Tip-a-roo. You want to go first?
I'll go first. I'm giving a reverse tip.
Oh, reverse tip. If you've been this far, you're in for a treat, because some people might have left during the downer segment.
That's why I did it before.
That's why tip time.
Because if they don't care about our favorite songs, they're going to miss out on our reverse tips. Okay. I'm just going to do like a mock slow-mo.
You can also go like right up to the camera if you want.
No. That'd be giving too much away.
Okay, yeah, we don't want to tell you everything.
I'll zoom in. Contact point. It's going to be upper palm. And a lot of people think you use your thumb when hitting reverse. I think you use maybe up until...
Holy my God.
I just spilled the water.
No, it's okay. Keep talking. I got it.
You use up until like this part of your thumb, but coming off of your hand...
It wasn't my picture, because that would have been a lot more water.
Don't use your thumb. It shouldn't be exiting your thumb. It should be exiting these 2 fingers. And what I think of when I'm hitting it is to get under the ball and basically try to have it spin this way. So again, contact, kind of upper palm, open your hand wide. That's a huge thing. And then you're going to want to clip it with these 2 fingers and flick. Boom.
Bang.
There's your tip. Reverse tip Tuesday.
All right, I got tip. It's not Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? It is Tuesday. Wow, look at us. Tip Tuesday.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's why I waited a month just to get this Tuesday.
Yeah, there were no more Tuesdays.
No. My tip of the day, it is to finish an action before you start a new action. And what I mean by that is, like, if you're going to set a ball or if you're going to serve, receive, or any action, singular action, is stay in that action until it's complete. So no, to get out of here. You're out of water. Sorry about it. Is... so many people I see, they pull away from their sets because they're worried about playing defense, or they hit and then they pull out of it because they're ready to go play defense, or even serving. People sometimes serve and then they try and go race around or something. But if you are making something happen, finish that action before you start a new one. There's a clip that just came up on ESPN or on Spike Ball of me setting in ESPN to Harding Brumby. Shout out the legend. But I didn't realize I looked like that in the motion until watching it back again. But, I really exaggerate my set, and I take like 2-3 steps before finally turning around because I was finishing my set. Again, I didn't realize I had good form there, but it's a pretty good example. They just posted on Spike Ball. But moving forward, I think we're almost out of this one here. We're going to go to questions.
Yeah, I posted a story like 20 minutes ago, and we're going to answer some of these questions. Rally ball / new regular set.
Ooh.
Spike Ball came out with a new ball called Rally Ball.
Well, they came out with a new, first off, limited edition standard set. It's confusing because for me, it's like, so is that like a gap between standard and pro? And they're like, hey, if you want to own a set that no one else owns, but no one's going to use it, you have this limited time. It's like playing basketball with like a square rim, but no one's ever going to use it.
Yeah.
However, there is a ball that is attached to this limited standard edition set that is called the Rally Ball. Have you seen it?
I've seen it. I haven't played with it.
Like, have you physically seen it?
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger than the pro ball.
Yeah.
I think it's grippier almost, but I want to play with it.
I feel like it's probably got bigger pips.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't really know.
So my question is, why don't we just play with that ball?
Well, yeah, what I don't understand is
or like have us test it before you release it to see maybe like...
It hurts my head when this type of stuff comes out, and as long as we're being honest, because Spike Ball's way of testing.
I know you've had a bunch of... We were pushing the regular ball for a little bit, all while they were making...
We were pushing anything.
Yeah.
And then I got shut down, and they were saying, no, we're going to stay with what we have / what we're working on. But for me, it's like have some transparency, at least with the top players, and say, hey, let's run a tournament, let's do this thing. Because I don't know what they do testing wise.
Yeah.
I know last year they had some sort of something going on, but yeah, why don't we just play with this?
I don't know.
Because everyone who's tested it so far, given there's like 6 people I know of who have tried it, they all love it, and they're all pro players. So I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it looks exciting. I'm just confused in terms of why they... Also, I don't know, again, starting conversation, I don't know why they're not selling the ball by itself.
Yeah, they should just sell the ball. I'll buy it.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people buy it.
Yeah.
Who knows? Moving forward, rally ball.
How to warm up / prepare pregame.
Was that a big word for you? You said...
What? No, I just saw a slash and it was like a whole other thing. I usually hit like 6 serves before I... honestly, though. Because I'm usually...
We're being honest.
I'm usually like taking pictures and stuff. And
yeah.
So, yeah, I'll hit like 5 serves before.
Yeah, I feel like I'll... Honestly...
If you're a little older, then maybe... Yeah.
No, at this point, honestly, I feel like it's... Hit whatever 10, 15 serves.
Maybe a little dynamic stuff. Remember, like Jared at Nationals.
Yeah, I mean, Jared likes to warm up. I will say I do like to play kind of like a 50% sort of ish game.
Yeah.
Just to kind of move and groove with my partner and get reads, eye-hand coordination, a little wake up.
Yeah.
I will say if you want to really warm up, I mean, you could do, slides, you could do squats, you could do jumping jacks, you could roll on the ground like a keto. I don't know. I think it's per person. It just depends on what you feel like is your height and state to play Roundnet and how you're going to achieve getting there. So,
yeah,
I don't necessarily think there's a best way, as long as you're not getting hurt.
Do we want to talk about Worlds?
I'm happy to talk about Worlds briefly-ish. What does it say?
It just says talk about Worlds.
We'll talk about Worlds. So USA is going to win first off, which makes it less enticing, I guess, to go to Worlds.
I feel like we're not going there to prove anything, really.
Which is a good problem to have.
Sure.
I will say that.
I do think we will be tested in a way. I do think we'll be surprised more than we think.
True.
But at the end of the day, I feel like the U.S. is just so far ahead that
as a unit,
yeah.
Like I could see one of our, and again we say our as if we're on the team. We're not on the team yet. We have to qualify, but our being USA, I could see one of our teams losing a matchup.
Yeah,
because there are some studs out there, especially if like Wonky Sauce is out there. I know there's some European players that have been really kind of making moves, but I don't see a complete team beating Team USA.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, I think Worlds would be super, super great. I think, obviously, a place where Roundnet people from all over the world get to come, like, and hang out. Like, again, it's all about community. I think that's super crazy great. I do think the qualifying process for Worlds is interesting. Like, they're expecting 2 full weekends out of you on top of going to Worlds, which is tough because there's no huge incentive to do it aside from wanting to be on the team. But some people, they're going to have to buy flights to LA, $500. And then they're going to have to buy flights to a different tournament to prove that they want to go to the training camp to try and get a bid, another $300-$400. You know, by the time they get to Worlds, they've already spent $1,000 on food, on everything else. So it's a little, I don't know. To have one strict weekend where you have to do everything, it's kind of...
Yeah.
If there was more at stake, like if you're an Olympic athlete and you're making lots of monies, sure.
I think there should be some selective process that doesn't involve going to one camp. I feel like national champs from last year should make it.
Yeah, I feel like there should be. I mean, I feel like you could auto bid you at least in double clutch, whatever. Obviously, I think I'm should be on there only because I've been playing forever and I'm freaking old at this point, and it'd be super fun. But playing wise, I do get it. I think it's good to have a process. I just think it's a lot to ask for the sports at.
Yeah,
that's my only thing about that. So moving forward,
hot take: the reverse cut is good enough without a cut serve to go along with it. False. At a point, it was when it first came out. Sure.
Yeah, but not really though. Because my thing is, if you had a back door and a reverse cut, you're only talking about 2 feet of distance to cover.
I think at the start it was, but now people
only because there was a cut. The thing is they cheated on your cut.
Well, think about this: the cut serve was enough to get people wide when it first came out. Now it wouldn't be.
But that's because from like a back door and a cut serve, there's so much distance. Whereas reverse cut, you can't get quite as much. Like,
dude, I think I get more cut on my reverse than cut.
I think it jumps significantly more, but it's not farther away from center point.
I think it is.
That's just 100% false.
Not for me.
No, it is.
I think I cut my reverse more than my cut.
I think it grabs more and moves off the net more.
So yeah.
But the thing is, it's changing direction, and there's not a from center. Like, let's say you step out.
Yeah.
This is your back door. My thing is, I don't think your reverse goes here, whereas your cut does go here.
No, I think my reverse jumps more.
I think your reverse goes here-ish. The thing is, they stand here. It might be farther away.
Look at like the overlay challenge.
I know, but it might be farther away from the receiver because everyone cheats cut because it moves more. I think it's farther away from the receiver. I would agree with you on that. I don't think that it cuts more distance from center point.
I think it does.
Well, we can check that out. Who knows?
Yeah.
Any Hoosiers? No, I don't think it is enough by itself.
Yeah.
We can agree on that.
Would CS win next year if they came back and played?
Moving forward.
Ryan Gross is a top 10 player.
Yes.
I agree.
Said it. Check. Done.
Check done.
Also, I just want to say Ryan's been playing for a while, and I'm stoked for him that he's all of a sudden just coming to his manhood of roundnetness, and he's freaking wrecking kids.
He's a great guy, too.
He's a really good guy. But he's just a complete player, which I love to see complete players come into the game because, not to call him out, but like someone like Joe Bondi maybe, who's a very, very heavy serve baller, it's tough to sometimes see some plays that he'll make, and I'm like, ah. But Joe's also pretty good all around. Like, I don't want to ever say that he's bad all around. If it was like NBA 2K, he'd still have like 90s all over, or 85s, and then like a 97 on serving, which is still all-star quality. So I say he's not phenomenal. I mean, like, compared to the top person in the world.
Yeah. Yep. All right, well.
That's that?
That's that.
Let me check
We're gonna wrap it up.
Check my cool note sheet here.
Yeah, you have anything else before we...
Oh, Pregame. I can briefly talk about it.
Okay.
Whether it's me, whether it's Ryder, whether it's both of us, I want to do a online kind of training program. I did one like literally 3 years ago, probably. Very briefly, kind of just had it out there. But I want to focus this year more on teaching and coaching people as much as I can. That's why I'm going to Nicaragua. That's why I'm trying to go to Australia. I'm trying to do as much as I can, because at this point, I don't think there's a doubt in anyone's mind that I'm a better coach than I am player currently. Obviously, I hope to prove myself and be a top 3 player again at the end of the year, but coaching is what I love to do. Community is what I love to engage in. So look out for that probably in the next 2 weeks. Whenever this video is posted, I want to try and take on probably 10 to 20 people and try and revolutionize the Roundnet game. So something to look out for.
Cool.
Also, if you want Ryder and I to come run clinics, let us know, because we'll be down. One day you'll get this, Ryder. One day. This is a co-ed championship, by the way.
Really?
All right. Well, that's all we got for you. We out.
All right. See ya. Bye.
Deuces.